like under a magnifying glass. Yeah, I just got back from seeing my psychiatrist. I know, shocking. Yeah. Today she was asking me if I think I'm becoming paranoid, and I said, actually, I am a bit, doctor. I mean, first of all, as a comedian, I worry that you're going to solve whatever's wrong with me and then I won't be funny anymore. But also, whenever I talk to you about comedy, you write lots of notes, and that makes me anxious that you're stealing my jokes. Yeah. At our previous session, she was asking me if anyone in my family is autistic, but she has a very heavy Irish accent, and I can't always make out what she says, so of course I answered, yeah, I come from a very artistic family. Matter of fact, my father is a famous painter, by numbers. And my brother... Thank you, you folks are quick. My brother's a rapper who's doing really well for himself. He loves to go to nightclubs on the weekend, buy everybody drinks, do impromptu DJ sets, give the bar staff massive tips. He really makes it rain, man. You are quick, thank you. And she thought I was mocking her accent and said, I think our time here is up. Can you pay on the way out? So I took out a handful of change, threw it on the floor and said, count it, how much is there? And I left. It's good you've all seen the movie because that joke can divide a room, sometimes into perfectly equal halves. Yeah, autism, thank you. Yeah. I'm quite excited today. I got some recognition for my comedy after years, because a few weeks ago I did some very edgy material, and on Monday the police came to alert me that I'd been placed on some kind of watch list as a result. So tomorrow morning I'm going down to MI6 headquarters in Vauxhall to collect my watch. Who says comedy doesn't pay? Yeah. I get into all the trouble with the police actually, it's very strange. Just on Sunday morning, I was at home having my breakfast when they came in after the door and there was a police officer there. He said, good morning, sir. I've had a report of domestic violence concerning you. I said, what? I'm not married and I'm single. I mean, who? Well, see, I can tell that, sir, but do you or do you not own, and I quote, a sleeveless A-line mesh undershirt? What are you talking about? And he showed me a photo, and I said, oh yeah, a wife beater vest. Yeah, I've got one of those. I said, I see, sir. Would you like to come to the station and just answer a few questions? But it's cool. They turned out to be questions like, do you really think you can pull that off at your age? And are you really in shape enough to wear that kind of thing in summer? It turns out he was from the fashion police. The London Cosmopolitans. But I'm also excited for another reason. I've discovered a whole new way to lie on dating apps. Yeah, people said it couldn't be done, but here I am. You're all good-looking people, so let me explain. The baseline level of lying is what I call the CV lie. You know, you put things in your profile which probably no one will read, but they make you seem more relatable if they do. Like, you know, I love dogs, or cooking, or vegan cookery, or children, or hiking. And you know, it's a very harmless lie, that. Although once I did have to go on a date with a girl who brought along her dogs, her 2 children, a vegan picnic, and took me hiking for 6 hours, but that's quite rare. The most common one is the next one up, the estate agent lie. That's where you move from words to pictures, and you use photos which are maybe a few years out of date, or heavily photoshopped, or not actually of you. And then when you meet someone in real life and the discrepancy is too obvious to ignore, you act like an estate agent. Let's say I was 6 inches shorter in real life than in my Tinder profile. Easy to look after. Or if I was about 20 pounds heavier, or a meter love. Or if I was going bald. Upper story needs some rethatching. But the level I discovered is the highest and the worst. This is the 2024 general election line. It's where you completely distort reality in an effort to get that date. Now, my Tinder profile says that I'm a comedian. The trouble there is that I'm not very funny. Way too many people are. Yeah, and I thought to myself, how to manage that? I mean, if I was using tweaked photos, I could just take my dates somewhere where there are lots of people less attractive than me, so I seem more handsome by contrast, like the Tory Party conference. But how do you do that with comedy? And then it hit me. The first date I got with that profile, I took her to a bar that's right next door to a mortuary. Nobody goes there except medical students and goths and the weird overlap between the two. It's the most depressing place in London. And against that backdrop, I seemed hilarious. Yeah. She thought I was very funny, we're getting on really well, and I've got a date with her tomorrow night. And it turns out if laughter is the best medicine, I might just be a doctor. Granted, a pathologist, but still. You folks are great. I've been Ben, you've been great. Thank you very much.